see it's recording. Yep,
Yeah, I
recording
see
has
it.
started.
Yes, alrighty then. And then if I need to edit some out, edit it out, no problem. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The season is over with. Oh man, but we're gonna talk about 90s elimination and 90s last episode because that one was not surprising. Number one, because it was a unique challenge. So, Becky, let's first start it off. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for the love of the challenge. My voice is halfway gone because I'm sick, but I am surviving. Becky, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing all right. Just feeling overwhelmed with stuff that I'm doing on my side. So, a lot of
I
stuff going
heard.
on.
Yeah, I heard. I understand that, and I know the season is over with, but we're gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up tonight. We're gonna talk about everything. We're gonna talk about this last episode with 90. We're gonna start there before we get into the final. And man, I was not surprised that it went the way it did because if they didn't win, I knew they were going in because you didn't have anybody left. The final was near. This was the last challenge to actually win to get into the final. What a episode it was. Definitely you had to know where your countries were at in this challenge that we were facing. Becky, what did you think of this episode?
I mean, I like the way they're still incorporating making you attached to your partner. Um cuz by now, this is usually, well, probably a few episodes ago would have been when we went individual. So, it's nice to see the situation happening the way it is because I'm glad that we're having a partner elimination, not elimination, final again. It's been a
Mhm.
minute, so it's been literally a while since we've had a good one of those. But this daily is it was fun. Watching everybody try to, because that's balance, that's coordination. You have to time your speed. It was great to see Olivia finally appreciated by a partner because I just felt that it was she was with Will prior, right?
Mhm.
He
Yeah.
was such a crybaby about everything and just even he's so passive aggressive. That freaking letter he left everybody really kind of peeved me off.
Mhm.
Um Basically, trying to call people out. But yeah. So I'm glad she's with a partner that appreciates her. You can tell Jeremy is a team player, um, and that he's ready to work with her. And I think they're going to be an unstoppable team, really at the end, which of course we saw later on, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, watching how people don't really know where anything is in the world, and mind you, me thinking of my own world map, I would probably fail just as bad because
Yeah.
geography was not my strong suit.
Yeah. I would probably do bad on that because I don't know where other countries are. I just know where Europe and Africa and all those other sub cities would have failed too. So I didn't feel bad. Even though you had 90 and what's his name? 90 and Justin and Cedric and Michaela, they were the bottom two. Um, no, it wasn't a surprise that Turbo and Sydney wins this challenge, especially with Turbo being from another country. So they had an advantage. Um, it was interesting. It was for sure a unique challenge. So I gotta say this: if 90 wasn't winning, they were going in. So whoever was your bottom two, I say they're your elimination. So when I saw TJ announce Cedric and Michaela were the ones that lost the challenge for the day, I knew automatically 90 and Justin was going in. So that was not a surprise that they were going to be facing those two. What was your reaction when TJ pronounced the winners of and the losers of this particular challenge.
I mean, I was glad for it. Um, I feel like Michaela and Cedric is his name. Is
Yes.
his name? Um, really kind of skated by really easily this season. They really did kind of keep a super low profile, which is a good thing, but it's also like I I'm just not a big fan of Michaela. I think she's just shady. Something about her gives me bad vibes. She's Survivor, right?
Yes.
Maybe it's because of Survivor, because I feel like Survivor people, no offense to people who like Survivor, they're a little bit more shady. Um, in ways that, yeah, I just the it's worse than anything else. Yeah, not a fan of hers. So I was glad to see that she lost. Uh, I was a little bit sad that one of the big two didn't lose because it would have been funny to see if they would have done the bad thing of making Olivia go against um
Theo and
Theo.
Adrian and
Yeah.
Adrian. Yes. That would have been actually a unique situation in itself if it would have came down to that, but it didn't. So we're gonna keep it to the norm because I'm like the what ifs. I mean, we can throw a lot of with what ifs moments
Woulda,
out
coulda,
there,
shoulda.
and it ain't gonna happen. So we know that this is the last elimination before the final. Going in it, was you excited? Not excited? Can't wait to see what the last elimination was gonna hold.
I mean, we got to talk about before we move into the elimination. Um, Obviously, the big fight happened before I think even they showed the daily, which was the big fight between Nani, Michaela, Cedric, Olivia.
Oh, how did I
Basically,
forget that? Oh
yeah.
man, I
So,
told you about that.
so
Yeah,
basically, the big fight of basically Michaela and Cedric against the house,
right.
except for Turbo, who wanted to play video games.
Mhm.
Um, Now, Michaela is interesting. Me, one,
Okay.
because she literally contradicted herself. She said, "I didn't ask for you." But later on, when she was called out and they said, "You know what time it is?" And she's like, "Yeah, I said that. That's you asking for them. And you're saying you didn't want them." So it just makes no sense. And she's just, gaslighting to the perfection. And maybe that's why I'm not a huge fan of hers. Because I can just see that the wheels turning in her head, like, how do I spin this in my favor? You know?
I
So,
mean, in my opinion, in this whole argument, you at the end of the game, and I'm like, okay, you bringing all this unnecessary drama. Number one, if you're not winning, you going in, so it don't matter because we're at the end. Somebody's got to be the fall guy, and one of those two teams that was not winning, they were going in. So,
well, I mean,
uh,
speaking about the fight at the end of the day, I don't, we knew that at the end of the day, that's what was going to happen if Theo and Olivia didn't lose. Like
right.
if they were in the middle, we knew that whoever was against them was going to end up going in. Period.
Mhm.
So that's not in the question. My question would be is do you think that old school Nani, the drunk and eating ramen noodles fighting Nani was correct in the way she approached it? Do you think that they're playing a Survivor Big Brother game? And if it is that, do you think that that's wrong? Because I mean, it got it to the end, if you think
Well,
about
yeah,
it.
it basically got up to the end, but yes, I think they were playing a Survivor Big Brother type game. It's not a really challenge game anymore because all our old school people are out. So that's the main focus that they were looking at, and it got them to the end. So I believe that it was more of a Survivor game at that point. But in my opinion, now they could have just honestly just let it alone because it even gaslighted her going in even further where she could have possibly saved herself from going into elimination. But I think the argument solidified her going into the elimination because I was like both of them arguing. I said I'm throwing both of them in, so it could have
It
went
doesn't
different.
matter. It doesn't matter because Theo and Olivia aren't going to vote for each other.
That's fact.
So at the end of the day, no, there was no way she could have saved herself. As
That's
long as
true.
Theo and them were not in it, or Olivia was not in the bottom, which we knew she wasn't going to be.
Mhm.
Not with Jeremy around. Like them together, I think that they were really going to make it work, because it just doesn't make sense for me, because Jeremy
Yeah,
is so good at everything.
right,
But and Olivia is no slouch. But
right,
just looking at it in the way of saying it, at this point, it wouldn't have affected anything. So
right.
Nani, and mind you, Nani would have fought whether or not that was a situation or not. That's just who Nani is. I respect that about her.
Yeah.
And she defended her position well. I did it because my friend, the person I was working with, was going in and I didn't want to blindside her. You didn't tell your friend about this because you wanted to blindside him.
Right.
So at the end of the day, who's wrong?
That's a good question. I think honestly, well, since it's over with, now that he end up going home anyway. I think I would say
Well, we're just
Nani.
talking about the moral about the argument, not about who's going home. Like that, I'm
Well,
not at this point. I'm not focused on the game. I'm focused on morality. Who was
I
right in this
say
particular fight?
I'll say Nani was in the right because I mean she pretty much summed it up and said, "Hey man, this is a game, you know." But you said one thing and it looks like she was doing another thing. But this is not a Survivor game. This is not a Big Brother game. So Nani in that instance was right, but Michaela could have did something different to not start all that up because I mean at this point it really doesn't matter because you know it was already set in stone at that. No, was it set in stone at that point?
Well, I mean, we knew
No,
what
it
was going to
wasn't.
happen. I don't. That fight happened before
Before,
this.
yeah,
I'm
before.
sure it happened probably after. Um, because they would have talked about it. If there's discussions about it, they would have talked about situations with the fact that they're getting put in. But yeah, so this probably happened in between the daily and then the new day, the daily that just hit, and then the elimination, um, right after the elimination before the next daily. In my opinion, it was probably one of their rest days.
Right.
Um, when I really look at it in the moral quandary, I agree with what Nani said,
Mm,
because at the end of the day, that's my friend. And it's not just a friend of a couple of weeks, you
mm,
know? And if that's what what's his face would have said, Cedric would have been like, "Listen, I only knew him for like a month.
right.
Why am I gonna?" I'm like, I like the dude, but at the end of the day, I'm not gonna ruin my game for a
Right.
guy that I just met.
Right.
And
Right.
that is respect. I would have like the fact that he didn't own it. That's what bothers me. You're not
Mm,
going to own your decision. And the way he's like, you did this, you did that. There's a whole lot of you in this and not a whole lot of me in this. And why are you mad at me? Because you're shady.
mhm,
And people are seeing you acting shady. Your little blue eyes, innocent little boy act isn't going to work here.
right.
So it's
And I guess
what?
he did that to save himself if he was in danger of going in. But it was already said you going in regardless of your
Well, I
argument.
mean, he's not. I think he's just trying to make himself feel better for not being a good friend. Because the thing is he did the same thing to Jeremy.
Yeah, true.
Because he made promises to Jeremy. He said, and mind you, this was at the very beginning of the game, which I
Right.
get. So he could have said that. Listen, this was day 2.
Hmm.
Of course I'm going to say yes to the final. But things change.
Right.
This is a different situation. I've seen how you play. I didn't want to go against you. Like literally own it.
Yeah, you
Like
got
and
to.
and that's what
Yeah.
bothers me about these Big Brother Survivor players. I'm not even sure where Cedric's from.
No, I don't know where he's from either.
I don't think he's from either of those shows. I
Mm-mm.
don't know who he is or really what he's. I don't know. Well,
Right.
we can Google him later. But looking at it, like I especially with Michaela being over with her little high horse. I did this. Blah, 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 I'm not ashamed. Yet you're not owning up to what you did in this situation. And you could have been like, listen, it was up to Cedric, and Cedric didn't want to tell him.
Right.
You
Right.
know, and I'm going to follow what my partner wants to do, you know?
Right.
And I just don't like the gaslighting, the it's not my fault, it's your fault, kind of situation. Why just say, listen, it happened. It's a game, you know? Somebody is going to go home, somebody's going to get voted in. I figured out what was best for my game, and that's what I followed.
Right.
That's not that hard to say. And that's
Right.
what frustrates me about people like Michaela, who just ride this upper high horse, um and just digs it right in, and you're like, this is disgusting. Your horse is trampling on my spine, and you're saying it's not my horse, you know the fuck.
Right.
But anyway, moving
Right.
forward, I honestly, I'm when it comes to the moral of it, and at the end of the day, my choice will ride with Nani, and everybody knows that I'm not the biggest Nani fan. So the fact that I am writing for Nani is says a lot about me, and my personal opinions, and my moralities. And Michaela is just trash, and I can't get behind it. I don't know what else to say about that. But anyway, uh, final thoughts on the fight, how they reacted to it, how the moral code according to Robert Stewart.
It was a little too late. I mean, because I mean, basically, it was just there for entertainment purposes. So, I mean, regardless of what had transpired, they were both going in. So, I don't know why it was a big deal, honestly, in my opinion. But they could have said save that maybe close to the end when these two are not in trouble, just to see what may have transpired. But it was just there for our entertainment purposes. But I want to talk about this final, not this final. I'm sorry, this elimination,
Elimination.
the elimination, because
Listen, I saw that elimination. I was like, they're fucked.
I'm thinking.
They're
I
fucked.
think this might be a, not interesting, but what's the word I'm looking for? I thought this was going to be actually a competitive elimination.
I knew it
Wrong,
was going to
wrong,
be.
wrong. I mean, it was over in 2 seconds. I said, "What in the world is going on? This is a fight for your life to stay in the game, and it's over like a snap of your finger." I said, "What in the world? You might as well just hand them the final. I mean, you might as well just hand Michaela and Cedric the final. At that point, say, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and let y'all have that." So I was disappointed in the elimination
Well,
round.
I mean, it wasn't it wasn't Justin. It was Nani. Because at
Yeah,
the end of the day, Justin still got some points on the board,
yeah, he did,
and
but
he kept them alive in the game.
not really.
Um, well, longer than it would have been if it were just Nani.
It was 2-0. They didn't even get a point. Well, they got
No,
a
he
point.
did. He
It
did.
was yeah, they got a point,
I think he got 2 or something, because
but
he
yeah,
got it in twice.
right.
He
But
plowed
now they
through
couldn't
it.
get nothing, and it was just like it's over. You might as well just go on and call
Do
it a day.
you remember when Nani, I think it was, I want to say Rivals.
Okay.
I want to say
No, that was
Rivals. Do you
right.
remember? No, it was Rivals 1. Choo choo, when they were running through the X and had to bring the balls over.
No, that wasn't one. That was two because she
That
wasn't
was
in
2?
one. Yeah.
Oh, who? Nani? Oh, she was okay,
No,
so 2.
she wasn't in one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Rivals 1, wait, because it was the one he was
No,
with
right.
the
Because Nani, wait a minute.
no,
Nani
no,
wasn't in the
Rivals 2 was when
Rivals two.
CT was with Wes and
Right.
they won.
Yeah.
Rivals 1 is when with CT was with Adam, and Adam
Right.
was in this daily.
Right. But
So
Nani
the
was
daily
in
I'm
the
talking about.
second
But
one.
anyway, we're
Yeah.
talking about no, it was Rivals 1. I know for a fact. Google it. It was Rivals 1.
No, I know.
I
I'm
will
gonna look
I
at it
will
right now.
bet you money it was Rivals 1.
No, it wasn't. Because I'm getting ready to look at it now. Go ahead.
Look it
Continue.
up. Look it up right
I
now.
got
But
the
anyway,
show on
while
my-
you look it up and prove that I'm right,
No, you ain't gonna be
when
right.
Cara Maria trucked Nani, like when they were running down there and she just poof, and Nani saw stars. Like she was seeing,
No, that was free.
that was
That might have been
Nani.
free agents. That might have been free agents when she
No,
did
that was not Free Agents, because remember, that's the one everybody says Adam threw.
No,
Remember? Because he
you
kept
got
grabbing the
it.
wrong ball.
Well, yeah, that one I do remember, but I'm thinking the one you talking about. I'm gonna look at it here in a minute because I think you got it mixed up.
No, I think I'm right.
If I can find my other stuff. Oh, is this it? No, that's not it. Okay, I gotta go TV show. Did he got? Hold on.
Contestants. These are the guys.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm about to go off. I said, where's my stuff at? Oh, here we go.
DT and Adam.
Okay, this is Rival. No, she
Adam
wasn't
and
in
Eve.
Rivals. I told you this, man. She wasn't in no Rivals. I'm looking at Rivals. This ain't. She wasn't in no Rivals. That was Rivals 2, ma'am.
This was Adam, though. Adam wasn't in Rivals 2.
He wasn't. He was in Rivals 1. Nani was in Rivals 2. And it was hold on, who was our partner? Let me look and see who was our partner there that time. If she was in it, if not, then we talking about free agent. No, she wasn't even in Rivals 2. She was in, no, she was in free. That was Free Agents. You thinking? Oh wait, no, she was in Rivals 2. It was Rivals 2. It was Rivals 2. It was Rivals 2 because I'm looking at it now as it's going. Yeah, because I still got that whole season on my television. Okay, so that was Rivals 2. I just remember who her partner was during that time. Hey Siri, what was Nani's partner in Rivals 2? Yeah, see, there go Nani. And it was what's her name?
Something went wrong. Please try
I
again.
don't know what. What's her name? I can't think of her name because I just saw her hanging from the thing. Let me go back into the introductions.
Now it's going to bother us.
I'm trying to see who was her partner during Rivals 2. Okay, there go Cook, and then Maria came in after.
Nani.
And,
John A.
John
A.
That's
It was
it,
Nani
right
and
there.
John A.
Yeah. So 'cause I was like, I know she was in 2. She wasn't in no 1. You trying to argue with me, so you was wrong.
I don't know. I just remember I thought it was 2 because I remember it from being Adam, and Adam wasn't in Rivals 2.
That was 1. That was 1.
But
One,
I
right,
guess,
yeah.
but
Because
I
I'm like, I
guess,
got both.
I get,
got
well,
all of
I
them,
guess, well, it makes sense because they both had that ramp thing happening, except for in Rivals 2, it was a basket that they had to put the balls into,
Right.
versus Rivals 1, it was just they had to put the ball on the other side.
Right.
So okay, so well, I guess I got the eliminations mixed up. Or, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, the dailies mixed up.
Right.
Because like I said, it's so similar, it's easy to get them mixed up. But anyway, she got trucked by Cara, who was half her size, height wise. So let's be honest. And Nani has only gotten skinnier and less athletic. since
Yeah.
Rivals too.
Well,
So
yeah.
she and mind you, I met her. I met her in Chicago. She is teeny. Like I
Mhm,
literally feel like my hands could span her waist. She is so small.
mhm.
Like she's teeny tiny.
Wow.
So against Michaela, who's definitely more muscular, she's more built. She was definitely prepared. She's
Mhm.
very similar to Casey in body structure.
Right.
So, like, I can see her being very physical. I wasn't surprised um, that she lost.
Mhm.
Um, I was sad because I did want to see Michaela go, but it is what it is. You know,
Right.
can't change that. But anyway, moving forward, your feelings. Oh, big ups to Justin for keeping them in the game for as long as he did, because he killed that shit. Anyway, your turn, sir.
I mean, it was just a disappointing. I thought it was going to be more competitive. It was over in less than 2 seconds. Yeah, I mean, you pretty much it wasn't no competition for me. So I was like, okay, well, we know they going home, so let's go end this. I was like, let's go end this now. Just hand it to them. So, excuse me.
At least they
Um,
didn't give up. They
yeah, at
kept
least they
going.
didn't give up, and it's sad to see Nani go out like that, but it is what it is. She made her bed, and we knew that was gonna happen in the end. But I'm glad final is here. Finally, we get the final to
This
see what's
season felt like
about.
it was never going to end.
Right. And so I'm like, okay, let's
And there
get
wasn't even
rocking.
a redemption house.
Nah, no
That this
redemption.
season felt long as hell.
It was, man, and wasn't really as entertaining as I thought it was going to be, but probably a disappointment. But I'm glad the final is here. So now we're gonna see who gonna really win. I already knew before I start this. Before we start this, I want to say this. When every time I look at these spoilers, I try to figure out, okay, how did this person win? And I was trying to figure out how Olivia and Jeremy won, and we'll talk about that later. But I was sitting here like I already can kind of predict where everybody's gonna be at. I know Theo and Adrian, they wasn't gonna get but third or fourth, and I was trying to figure out which one it was gonna be. Michaela, I thought they were gonna get fourth because of her ankle. I gotta give her props because she pushed through that pain. I gotta give her props on that because she definitely did her thing in that final. Even though they didn't win, they did get third place. Um,
And
and
she did finish. So,
she did finish, and I gotta give her props on that with that ankle because I thought she was gonna be gone before the second day. So, excuse me. This was a very intense, very long final, very challenging, very physical. This would literally break you in half. Um, I gotta say, everybody did their thing on this. Theo and Adrian, they made it as far as they can go before their bodies really started to shut down. On I don't know how they
well,
even made it to that point.
well,
So
watching it was quite a mixture of things. I enjoyed the fact that they kind of mixed it up. It wasn't just a run up a mountain, have to deal with certain puzzles. It
right.
was very similar to like the old school finals where, you know, first you have to do this portion, like the whitewater rafting, and then they
Mhm.
still had to memorize, but they really didn't know they had to memorize. They're just like, hey, that looks odd. I don't know why
Mhm.
that's there. The fact that it was Michaela and
And
Cedric
Cedric,
that flipped.
yeah, yeah, they flipped. Yeah, they
I
flipped.
thought, honestly, I really thought, even though she's from Alaska, I was like, let it be Jeremy and freaking Olivia that flip. I would
I would
laugh
have been dying laughing on that one. Yeah.
because I was like the two people who I never thought. But I'm glad they didn't. But I was kind of waiting for it because obviously they're the newest team, so they
Mhm.
do not know each other well. Um, Watching them communicate that first day, I was like, wow, this is what it's like to have a contributing partner
Mhm.
who is not so up in his ego
Right.
that he is there to help.
Mm-hmm.
So that first leg where they did the rafting and pretty much
Right.
everybody got something wrong on that list.
Right.
I did not know what was what. I mean,
Me
I would have
neither.
been lost in the sauce when it comes to
Yeah.
that. And the fact that they had names to it and extras and
Right.
like it was just a lot. So,
And then that being wet, especially in them type of conditions, I know it was super cold.
old.
Try to remember that stuff hard, man. And I gotta say, I know what it feels like. It's a very daunting thing to do, especially starting out in the water. I'm just like, come on, man, we got to do water. I'm like, and then not only that, they only had to go back to back in the water. So I thought that was very challenging, for sure.
Okay. Well, I remember that part. What came after that? What was the challenge after that?
With after the rafting,
After the rafting.
um,
Then
that
obviously it was running, 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 running. And what did they do after that?
it,
Oh, they did that zodiac sign where they had to like, how well do you know your partner thing?
yeah,
Um, which Olivia surprisingly knew quite a bit about Jeremy. I
hmm
was not surprised, but partners who had been there who together had been longer were like, huh?
right, right. Well, because and plus with females, they remember stuff a lot more easier than what we can remember, to tell you the truth. But yeah, I thought that was very unique that she knew a lot of the answers. And she said, "Oh, I got mine's done already." I said, "I'm just waiting on you now." You know what I mean? So
Jeremy's like,
and
he's
you
like,
only
wait,
know
you're not Aviv.
right. But I gotta give him his props, man, because Jeremy was like, man, I'm rolling with Livia on this, and I ain't messing with nobody else. So, um, yeah, that first leg,
He's the ideal partner.
yeah,
Like watching him throughout this thing, I was like, gosh darn it. You are the partner that everybody's gonna want to have going forward. He's
yeah,
humble, he's he's encouraging. It's just like and most people who are that good, let's be honest, because he really is that good. He's on he may not be at it right now, but I can see him easily getting to Jordan level of
yeah.
good. Where
But
but he's not as cocky. He's not as obsessed with himself as
but
Jordan
who
is.
who was getting on my nerves though was that dang on what's her name, Sydney. She was getting on my nerves. I couldn't stand her.
Sydney? Oh, Miss
Yeah,
Cocky. Yes.
yeah. I said I can't stand her, man. I said I can't do her no more. And then it's like, how you gonna lose? And y'all had to leave the whole time. I don't understand that. How you had to leave
Well,
the whole
let's talk
time?
about going through the whole thing first. You
Oh,
always
I'm
want to
sorry.
jump. You want to jump to the end
I'm
every
sorry.
time.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I have to stop you every
I'm
time.
sorry. But
But
no, after
she
that
was
part,
aggravating the entire run.
like I was carrying him. I was carrying him this challenge.
Well,
Okay, okay. Ooh. I'm seeing y'all bodies are shutting down on you. Turbo, he getting old. That's all. And he's like he 37. So and plus his body was definitely breaking down on him a lot faster in this challenge than before because his first one was 30 years old. He now 37. I said, that it's been that long, man. I
well,
said,
he was what?
30.
40?
He's 37 now.
No, 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 no. What was War of the Worlds? What season was that?
33.
33? And
Yeah,
this is 41? 42?
41.
41? So you think about one a year, it would
Mhm.
make sense. It's a lot of time.
Yeah.
Um, and I think he came in at real cocky, thinking that he was going to very similar to way CT, excuse me, very similar to the way CT comes into things, where he's like, I'll just train while I'm there. It'll be fine. I'll lose the
Yeah.
weight. I'll be able to do it. I've always been able to do it.
Right.
I mean, he didn't even really do as many ninja moves as he used to.
Mhm.
You remember when he used to, do all the
Oh yeah.
stuff? He didn't
We,
really
we,
even do that.
we
The
never he
flips or
didn't know that.
tricks. He
Right.
was, he did maybe once or twice, but that's about it. So like I was missing a War of the Worlds Turbo. But this Turbo he was very cocky, which I guess made their team really unbearable at the end of the day because I can't stand Sydney. As much as she's an amazing competitor, she reminds me of Jordan in cockiness. And I'm like, girl, slow down. This is your first challenge.
Right.
You're not built to be this confident yet. Talk to me when you actually complete the final. Talk to me when you, because even at the end she was dying. Like let's call it what it is. And a 6-week, 7-week pregnant woman beats you up a mountain. So let's call that what it is. So, but anyway, so looking at that, like, yeah, they were really the most obnoxious team. I was sick of seeing her whine and bitch and moan. I got really pissed off at Turbo at the end of day 1 when they had to do the swim.
Right.
And every single vet had the Rook do the swim.
Right.
But he acted like Theo was the worst person in the entire world for telling Adrian, you got to do the swim because I can't do the swim.
I see. Now that right there, I'm just like, y'all both tired. I'm just be real. Come on, and you gonna let this girl go in the water? And he like, I ain't finna do all that. And I'm like, I wouldn't even want to go in the water. At that point, I'm thinking about throwing the towel in. I'm gonna be honest. Because by the time you get to that point, your body's so done. You like, man, hold on. I gotta do what now? I said, you must be crazy. So to kind of give you the sense of what they're going through, your body's so tired at this point, you don't want to do no more extra stuff that we don't have to really do. So I thought Theo,
they're tired. They haven't eaten.
He could have sucked it up and went in the water for the girl, but he didn't want to do all that. But she ended up doing this. Said she glad she did it. But I'm like, come on, man, you could have just went ahead and did it, do your thing. That's why you're not gonna be no champion, man, because you ain't willing to make no sacrifice. So
I didn't like the hissy fit he seemed to throw.
Yeah,
but at the same time, she threw a hissy fit as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and when you think about it, neither of them lasted on the Stairmaster. The stair climber, or whatever that thing is called. So they can't say that she carried him. Now, Sydney definitely carried Turbo through that stair climber. Jeremy carried Olivia.
He said his legs were done. And I believe him on that one.
Did you see how bad that boy was sweating? Like, oh, he was dripping.
Because I've done that Stairmaster, but their legs are feeling like they're getting ready to fall off. That's why it was so hard to do that, because they've been going at it, and then your feet are going every direction. So you try not to have any broken ankles with it, and joining Michaela in the process of getting hurt.
Well, think about it this way: trying to climb up those stairs, like if you think about it, that's just a stable Stairmaster, but or stair climber, whatever they're called. But they probably walked up like Lord knows how many steps. And if you think about having to walk up like a building, like on those steps, I'd be tripping and falling too. I would have fell down the stairs. I would have been rolling.
I'll put it like this: it feels like, because I've experienced that, but I didn't do the Stairmaster after.
I've done stair stepper before. Yeah, I mean, I've done it before for like an hour.
To kind of give you the pain that they going through, it's like your feet are going in, I say, 100 different directions. So like when you step on,
you realize I've done a stair climber before,
right?
So you don't have to explain it to me.
No, you're not getting what I'm trying to explain. I'm trying to explain that portion of them out there on the mountain.
Well, obviously,
and I felt that. But even though you felt the Stairmaster, I'm trying to give you the
no. I know what you're saying. You're like, it's not just the stair climber, which I get that entirely. it's not just a Sarah Clamor. It's the fact that they had to row down the river. They had to run whatever
Right.
amount of mileage.
Yeah.
They had, or kilometers, however
And
you
your
guys want
feet
to
are
refer
going
to it.
like
You still
no
had challenges in between those two
right.
things.
And your feet are
There's,
not stable on like
well, your
hard.
brain's not working anymore.
Yeah,
Your brain is
you're
in a
right.
different sphere
Mm-hmm.
because you're so tired. It's
Mm-hmm.
the same way if you're just in general just tired. You start
Mm-hmm.
walking drunk. Like it's like you're so tired, legally you're not supposed to drive when you're tired
Right.
because it's as bad as driving drunk.
Yeah, I think they give you that citation if you do that.
You
So
do get a ticket if you're pulled over and you're
right,
exhausted driving because it's
right,
like I said, it's just as impaired. So it's not surprising, and it's big ups to Jeremy and Sydney for being able to be on there for as long as they did. That they were
right,
literally looking like they were about to die, and
right.
then had to run, and they
Mm-hmm.
still had to run after that. So
Right.
like I'm at a loss. I can say that. And then what was the second day that they had the dreaded Connect Four?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
The
that was
dreaded
crazy.
Connect Four.
Yeah, that
That's
can
I
forward.
do not know why they brought Connect
Yeah.
Four back. But
That was interesting. We're gonna get there in a minute,
but anyway, but
but
watching that, so I mean really looking at it in the long term, that swim was bad. I do agree that Theo should have done it. It's more of a gentleman thing to do. Um But in my opinion, it pissed me off that Turbo literally tried to make Theo feel bad when he was the one that made Sydney do the swim too. It'd be
right,
different if he did the swim and that Sydney got to rest. That's not how it happened. That's not how it worked. Theo, you got to give him, I'm sorry, Theo, not Theo, but Turbo, you got to give him the same grace that you gave yourself.
right.
And that was starting to piss me off. And I know he doesn't like Theo and they're not friends anymore. Blah, 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 blah. You're my enemy. La, 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 la. Pushy chicken. I get that. But no.
Right.
And let that
Really?
pussy chicken shit die because that's getting annoying.
Yeah,
Find
that
a
is.
new insult.
Yeah, because I'm like, man, we gotta come up with some new punchlines for this dude, man. I'm like, I'm tired of that. So, but how you like them bringing back the rivals one thing with standing on the log? That was cool. I was like, oh, look at them going back to rivals one. I
Was
see
that
you.
Rivals 1 or was
Yeah,
that Free
that
Agent?
was
No, Free Agents had the
that,
bikes.
that was rivals one. That's where they originally started from.
That they had
Because
this.
they did it,
Oh.
they did it on free agent. They did the bike thing
Yeah, that's
on
what I said. That's
Rivals
why I said no,
One.
it was the bikes.
They
Yeah.
they stood on the logs. Logs was in Rivals One.
I you know, at a certain point, it's been 40 billion seasons. You got to go back to the well sometimes,
Yeah,
and
got
it makes
to,
sense,
got to.
and I almost wish they would have done the bikes
That would have
because
been
that would have been funny
yes, it would.
to see
I would have been
them.
like, I'd have been like this, man, for real. I said we gotta do what? I said, oh no, it wasn't no way I'm doing no bike with the way my legs feeling like Jello. I said, no, I ain't doing that. So, but what you think about Theo and Adrian doing it all night long? They couldn't go to sleep at all.
I mean, I do feel bad for them, but at the same time, they kind of sucked at the day. So, got to pay the piper if you don't perform. And
Right,
that's what it is. You gotta get your performance up. And this is a note to self to not let this happen again in the future.
right.
Um, but it was warranted. At the end of the day, they were last and they didn't deserve any special treatment. Whether I felt bad for them or not. Um, so moving on to day two. Uh,
What you think about Michaela and Cedric rope coming up missing? I was like, how does Theo and Adrian get away with this and they get the penalty? I'm like, wow, I said, this dude is wow, stealing people ropes. I'm like,
well,
really?
it's not that. Who has the other rope? If there's a rope missing, and you said it was by the fire. but
Yeah,
Theo
he
said
said
he
it
picked it
was
up by his tent. Like,
right,
why is the rope outside the tent in the first place? If
right,
that rope needed to be with me at all times, I would have slept with that rope. It would have
right,
been in the bed with me, wrapped up tight. Why is it outside?
right.
Like,
Where
what
it
the
was at.
hell?
I'm like, dude, you gotta keep up with your own stuff. This is money, man, for $400 some thousand. But I had them coming in third or fourth because of the Michaela's ankle. Because I
In all
know
honesty, I don't think they would have been able to make it even if Michaela's ankle was fine with the
I
way
don't
they
know.
were.
Because I mean, the way she finished that thing, it could have been different if she had a 100% ankle.
I don't know.
But
If Sydney struggled and got passed up, I have no doubts that freaking Michaela wasn't going to be able to do it.
but Sydney got passed at towards the end though, but they
It
weren't
does.
reaching
Well,
them.
it doesn't matter.
They wasn't reaching them. But I want to talk about this 10-minute penalty though, because uh, how you mess up on Connect Four. But this I gotta say this. For Jeremy and Olivia to win that thing, you go from a 10-minute penalty to
Last place.
last place to first place. I got to give y'all props because y'all didn't. Number one, you didn't give up because you could have easily gave up and said, "Okay, we done." You did. You kept it. You kept pushing. You got past the first one, and it was like, "Okay, we rolling now." So let's keep it. Let's keep this train going. Olivia was just rolling with Jeremy. Jeremy's like, "Oh, we got this. We just." And she said it at the beginning. She said, "Slow and steady will win the race." And guess what? They went slow and steady and they won the race.
Well,
So
also the big thing is never stop.
that's right.
Never stop moving. The minute you stop, your body tenses up.
Mhm,
And that's kind of where I know Michaela went wrong because
mhm,
she kept stopping. And mind
yeah,
you, I know your ankle hurts. I know that. We all know that. I get it. You kept twisting it.
mhm,
And it was unstable. But that's why I said I don't think she would have been able to do it because it wasn't just the ankle.
mhm.
Girl was huffing and puffing anyway.
Yeah, because I mean, especially from my understanding, it gets a little tougher when it you elevate, and plus they were at that point, especially when Turbo looked like he damn nearly died, and he had to get that man off that mountain. That scared the hell out of me. I said, "Damn!" I said, "You got people." That boy was turning purple. I said, "What in the world?" I said, "I hope
He
he don't
was
say."
fine 2 seconds ago.
I said, dang, but and that's how the elevation is. So
Yeah.
it's tough. So but they kept pushing. They kept chugging along. They said, okay, we're gonna keep rolling. Theo and Adrian, they bodies just shut down. No food, water. I said, I don't even know how he made it that far, especially without no food, no water. Big ups to them because they made it as far as they can go. Um, I'm glad
I
they made.
mean, let's be honest, that was Adrian. Adrian,
Oh yeah, yeah. Because I knew they
because
weren't gonna win. That's why you take Theo and Adrian to the final because they're not winning from first to second. I already said that like way back when.
well, I
So
mean, it's not just that. It's just, I looked at her and I was like, she just and I hate to say it and because I do like her, she gave up. She literally just gave up. Like
so her
I
body gave up. I
listen,
mean, you get to
if
that point, you like your body just going because it's like no, you ain't going.
that
That's
well,
what
that's
it
the
is.
thing. She kept stopping. Had her ass not kept stopping, maybe she would have been able to keep going. It's the
I don't
same
know.
thing with Michaela. I understand
I
you're in
don't
pain,
know.
but you have to push through it.
Yeah, you
Unless
definitely do because
at the end of
it's
the
hard.
day,
It's hard. I'm gonna tell you, it's hard. It's
I
not
well, I get
easy.
that. And mind you, listen, I'm not trugging up mountains. I know that I can say this all day, every day from my
Right.
popcorn on my couch, and I get that. But if somebody who has known people who've done these type of situations, who have been in these kinds of physically endurance and things that you have to keep doing, one of the big things they always told me was, Becky, you can't stop moving.
Yeah.
And that's even when I'm doing stuff myself. Like I
Mhm.
literally am like, and I've said this even to myself when people are like, hey, sit down, relax when I'm in the middle of doing something. I said, I can't stop. because the minute I stop, I'm going to crash and then I'm not going to want to do it anymore. You
Right.
cannot stop in the middle of a project. Just literally push through it. Otherwise, you're just going to fail it. And that's in anything in life, like being exhausted or being, I have a chronic illness. I literally, mind you, this was maybe 4 years ago. I could not stand up straight.
Right.
I couldn't lift my arms over a 40-degree angle. In order to wash my hair, I had to physically bow down and pat my hair. I couldn't even scrub my scalp because
Mm.
my hands hurt so bad.
Mm.
Like, I literally had to pat it like this. That's how I had to. And mind, this is why I tell people to be very grateful for the little things in life. Because I have had a point in my life where I physically could not do it. I was in so much pain, I passed out. I was in so much pain, I had to repeatedly go stand in hot showers because it was the only thing that relieved pain.
Mm.
So, when it comes down to it, I know pain. I literally felt like my arm was being torn off of my body. Like, I can only attribute it to the same thing. I've had doctors look at my inflammation levels, and they're like, "How are you walking?"
Right.
I was like, "Well, what am I gonna do? I have to work." I used to waddle, so much so that people thought I was pregnant. I was like, "No, I can't bend my knees, and my hips hurt, and my whole body hurts. I'm like a fucking mummy." It was the worst time of my life. So, when I look at it at the end of the day, as someone who has had to endure a gargantuan amounts of pain, to the point where I could not sleep at night and I cried myself. Like, I
Mm.
literally cried all night in so much pain. I literally screamed out to my friends. They couldn't hear me. I could barely get to my phone because I needed to go to the hospital. They had to literally almost carry me to the hospital
Mm.
because I was in that much pain and I didn't know how to fix it and I didn't know how to get better. And that's the type of thing that I tell people about, that they need to have some gratitude in life because their bodies don't do that. You got to be thankful for the small things. And these people can push through it. They're healthy,
That's right.
you
And
know.
wow, that's powerful. Yeah, I do agree with you on that because even my trials and tribulations with sport and race, my second one, I remember I probably was at mile 5. I was ready to give it up. I said, shoot, well, I said, what more can we do? Because I'm tired, man. My body's about done. I said, I don't know if my legs can take it no more. And I had to push my way through the finish line and I made it through. So I'm glad I did because I had uh, a lot of challenges out there on the mountains, almost falling off the mountain at that. And the guy was like, "You all right?" I said, "No, I ain't all right, but we almost to the end, so let's keep pushing." Because the in decline on the hill going down that mountain was so steep. I slipped and fell and almost went off the mountain. And I was just like, "Oh, pain!" I mean, pain just shot up. I got up so quick, got down there here. I said, "Man, nah, I'm good, man. Let's roll. I'll just worry about the pain later." Cause I remember that was crazy. But this final definitely was challenging all across the board, and I enjoyed watching it, to seeing them push through the adversity that they faced. Michaela, I gotta give her props for finishing. She said, "No, dog, yep, no, I'm fine. I want to go." The producers came in the picture. They said, "We gotta take your vitals." I said, "Make sure you able to move forward in the twine." And he was like, "No, I can finish." She and I got to give her props because she kept advocating for us. So I said, "Hold on, I want to finish." And they let her finish because her vitals was good and that she was clear, which was good. And she ended up getting up that mountain. It's like, hey, came in third place. More power to her. Because I mean, a lot of people at that point with the ankle, they would have probably gave up, and that shows that you just got to continue to push forward regardless of what's the circumstances because you're going to pull through it. So big ups to all of them for even completing that challenging final and especially dealing with the elevation. uh I know that it gets tight up there. I have never experienced that before. I've thought about doing it in Denver, so I don't know if I want to do it after watching this final. If I do, I'm gonna be prepared for it. I got some things I can work on to prepare for it. But Olivia and Jeremy is an example of never giving up. It's not over until it's over. If that person hasn't won or the flag that horn ain't been blown, you keep pushing forward, regardless of whatever circumstances you in. You keep pushing forward because it ain't over until it's over. So keep pushing forward, regardless of what the outcome is. So big ups to Olivia and Yermi for finishing first place. Turbo and Sydney second. Was it Michaela and Cedric third?
Yeah.
And last but not least, Theo and Adrian, even though they didn't make it up the mountain, they finished fourth. So, yeah, that was one hell of a final. I know that. Overall, I gotta say, I give it a 10. Because it was very challenging. It was different, physically, mentally draining. The water thing would have got on my nerves. I was like, we got to get on water again. I said, I don't want to experience this no more. I want to need no more water. That is the most toughest thing, especially being cold water like that in cold weather. To push through something like that, more power to all them because I'd have probably quit. I said, look, I'm cold. I'm
Yeah.
cold.
Ain't that a
Give
fact?
me the ball. Yeah, it's torture, man. It's torture because my first race, I spent 99% of it cold and wet. I was like, okay, push through. So, but that's torture. That's another conversation
So
on another day.
honestly, how insane is it that Olivia competed pregnant?
It's insane. It's not the first pregnant woman that's competed on the
But not
final,
just competed,
but one.
won.
Not
Because
that many. I gotta give her props, man. Women, y'all do some. Y'all are the toughest. I'm gonna say this because I when I see a woman pregnant, I'm gonna be honest. I kind of I can't talk about it because I lost my sister. She
sorry.
died having a child, and it's hard for me to look at it because that plays in my head still to this day. But I pray and hope that it's a healthy pregnancy. But it's
Oh, she
hard
had
for
the
me.
baby.
Yes, I know she did have a baby, and I'm glad she did have a baby. And she came, the boy came out healthy. When I see that, it's a relief for me. I've had some friends that experienced not so good of a pregnancy, and it almost brought the loss of my sister and my nephew back. But it's something that I really talk about, and especially talking about it on For the Love of the Challenge, especially with those who's going to be watching this thing. It's tough for me now to even talk about it, but I've gotten to a point now where I can share a little bit more because it's good to share the experience, to see that happen. I got to give her props though. She did her thing. She probably didn't even know she was pregnant at the time.
She
Of
thought she was just sick.
Right. So she was doing her thing. So big ups to her. She's tough. I mean, women in general, they tough. They tougher than you think. So but yeah, I'm happy for her. I'm happy for her having a healthy pregnancy. And I hope the child grows up to be big and strong like his dad, but a little bit more tougher. You know what I mean? And a little bit more a little bit
I
more.
mean, Theo from War of the Worlds was tough.
Yeah, but this deal, I was like, no, man, I can't.
But
No, I can't.
well, let's be honest. He was injured. He wasn't well either. I guess he had an injury as well. So it's not.
He looked like he was gonna pass out. I was like, damn,
Well,
dude.
he's also 6'7". or
Mm-hmm.
6'6". And
We ain't got no team.
the taller you are, the harder it
Mhm.
is at higher elevations. They've discussed this. It's the same reason that CT crashed out during X's one on the iceberg, where
Yeah,
they were climbing that iceberg and he was dying, is
but
because
that was
he's
he had,
tall and big.
and he was so smoker too, so that kind of caught up with him too during that time. So that's why he died on that too. Was smoking every 5 minutes, but he ended up winning, so he ended up doing all right. But this was actually we're getting ready to face 42. We don't know what's gonna happen to MTV after this. It may not even exist after 42. So it's gonna be
I
kind
say
of
bring it to Peacock. I do not know why they do not just bring it to Peacock.
I don't know neither, but to actually talk about going to a different network is kind of strange because we grew up on it, man. Real world, road rules, everything, man. It's just like it's gonna be bittersweet to see it, go. Um,
And I'd have the
right,
MTV
the
at the
MTV
beginning.
logo and all this. It's been part of our lives for 40 plus some years. And I mean it's gonna be bittersweet. It's gonna be bittersweet. I'm not looking forward to the last one. This next season we're gonna be on time. We're gonna have a better structured season where we giving it weekly. It's been life just been life and y'all. So um it's going to be bittersweet for me. So
I mean, we can hope and pray that it continues forward. I think it's still a very profitable franchise. There are still there is still a following for it. You know, it's never been a Big Brother level thing anyway. It's just it's been very, and I tell people are like, "Well, what do you do or what's your podcast about?" And I said it's very niche, because it's not everybody's cup of tea, and some people don't even really know what it is. Um, Mind you, I've actually come across a lot more people than I know that know it that I didn't expect did. Um, but I think that this still has a possibility of bringing in money to any network that it decides to go to. I think they should give it a chance, and really see about putting a new structure to it. They need to take the PG rating off, um, and make it at
I got a
least
PG rating. I didn't even
it's
pay
it's like
attention
a
to it.
PG-13 rating, man.
Really?
Well, I know that the USA version is the one that was on CBS,
Yeah,
that was on Big Brother level stuff, um,
because
which is
we
very, very censored.
it was
They cut a
more
lot.
because I'm like it was more R. I'm like it's almost like R rated for real.
Well, this season wasn't R.
Nah.
Like,
Overall,
unless
it's been
the
R.
last season that was R,
Was it Final Reckoning?
I think even prior to that. Because let's be honest, even with like having people like
Uh,
Bear around, which, probably shouldn't
I
mention
forgot
him,
about.
but
I so forgot about Bear. What?
uh,
What's no? He was in what? I forgot which one was Bear in.
he was Total Madness.
Okay.
And he was also in a couple of other ones. Remember,
Mm,
he got that big paycheck to
right.
bring him over.
Mm.
But when you look at it, at the end of the day, I think that this still can be very profitable if they bring the right people, if they use the right formats, and they just put more effort into it. I have confidence in this franchise. There's a reason why we've watched it for 41 seasons. Um, and why it still has a good following, a cult following, but a good following. And we're loyal. Even if we hate the season, we're over here like,
Yeah, I do agree with you on that, bro. So,
listen, we passed Battle for a New Champion, and that was the worst season I have ever seen.
which one?
Battle for a New Champion.
No, Battle of the Seasons is the one
Well,
okay.
I'm talking about the new age ones, because
Oh, you talking about
obviously,
New Age?
because
Okay.
if you think about it, back then it was still Real World Road Rules. Are You the
Mm,
One? I'm
mm,
talking more about the new school bringing in of the people who like Big Brother and shit. So like
Oh, okay.
when you look at that, because past seasons, uh, they have to be looked at the scope of what they are and what they came in as. Um, so obviously it's going to be different than looking um at today. So I have full confidence that if they put in the work and really research into what made this profitable, what made this so popular at the end of the day, that other franchises are doing their own versions of it. Because let's be honest, Big Brother is a version of this.
Right.
So is Love Island Games and even Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
These were before these shows were on.
Right.
So let's be honest, they use this as a platform to open up those other shows. So give it the respect that it deserves. Um, if you're gonna let it die gracefully. But I think that it still has money and I think it could still run, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's still run because you got still Challenge Mania lives going on. I will be making an appearance next year sometime for Challenge Mania. I'll be going back to Challenge Mania live. I'm excited. I got to look and see what's on the thing. I haven't been keeping it up really because it's life been lifing, but I'm looking forward to getting it back out there in the other cities. So you gonna see me soon. I can't wait. Chicago, I'm coming back. I gotta make my appearance back into the Shot Town. So we gotta kick it. So this time, Becky, you gotta come out with us now. You gotta come
Listen,
out with
I'm
us.
off at 4 now.
That,
It's easier to do stuff
that's
now
what
when I
I'm
get off
talking.
at 4 o'clock.
That's right. Because
But
that last time we was all in Chicago, you was working. I said,
I
"Dang,
was
go."
working and I work Saturdays all day. I worked until
Mhm.
like 6 or 7. I don't remember what my hours were exactly. And I would still have to drive. And I would have to figure out where you guys were. And it was too much. But anyway, let's move on to what we're doing until we're waiting for the next season to come out. I've started jewelry making. Anybody who follows me a little bit has seen that. Yep, I have gotten a bit of an obsession with crystals. And I'm going to be making some crystal jewelry. This, if you can you see that?
Yes, that's tight. That's tight.
This
Look at it.
is this is my latest creation. And then I also have this one. Mind you, I'm still in the throes of figuring out what is best. Because I have charms for days. I have different necklaces and beads. So they're all crystals, they're natural crystals. Um, and I opened up an Etsy shop. I'm hoping that I could use some of my obsession and bring out more beauty into the world. And obviously crystals have their own meanings behind them. So if you follow me, uh come check it out. If you like crystals, if you don't like crystals, I'm also going to do figurines. I have this is a jade Grinch that I'm probably going to be selling later on.
With the Christmas hat. Do you want to do what is it? The Caucus Challenge.
Do you see this?
Do you
This is
want
a skull that'll probably also be up for sale at one point.
do you want to do the Caucus Challenge?
If they want us, if you want to do it, I don't mind.
We can just talk about it because I mean the new season. I believe the new season
Well,
is
here,
out.
let's finish this out and then we'll
Yeah.
talk about that afterwards. Let's
Yeah,
finish this
okay.
up.
So, you can definitely reach me at For the Love of the Challenge. So hit me up, Facebook, Instagram. Yes, hit me up. With that, it was one hell of a season. I can't wait till 42. It's gonna be bittersweet. I'm gonna have something special in store. We're gonna do a reminisce on some of our favorite seasons. When the list come out, we'll probably do something special with that. So, with that said, see y'all next season. Peace.
Peace.
Go ahead and hit stop.
Recording.
Yes.